Hello everyone and welcome to my July book haul. So I have something like 25 books to get through in this book haul, so I'm not going to give you too much information about each one. I'm just going to give you enough to hopefully get you excited about them, and that will be it. So as always with my book hauls, pretty much all of these books were really cheap. I don't spend hundreds of pounds on books every month, so just want to throw that out there. But I did manage to get quite a lot for my money this month, so I thought I would just show you what I managed to pick up. So I'm going to start off with the Kindle books that I got this month. The first one being Down Among the Sticks and Bones by Shauna Maguire. This is the second book in the Way with Children series. I read the first one, Every Heart a Doorway, earlier on this year and really enjoyed it. Even though this is the second book, it's technically a prequel to the first one. This is the story of the twins Jack and Jill, who we meet in the first one, and it's basically their story of how they came to be at the Centre for Wayward Children. I have already read this, so I'm going to talk about it more in my wrap-up at the end of this month. Really enjoyed it, very fun, whimsical, fairy tale-esque story, so yeah, stay tuned for my wrap-up if you want to know more. The next book that I got for my Kindle this month is, make sure my Kindle to behave, East of Eden by John Steinbeck. I have read Of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck. I read that as part of my GCSE English at school when I was 15. I've never read anything else by him though. I have heard that this is kind of widely assumed to be his best work. I don't know. If you're better versed in Steinbeck, let me know if you agree with that opinion. I know nothing about the story, but it was something like 99p at some point on Kindle Daily Deals, so I thought I'd just pick it up and give it a go. So yeah, really excited for that one. The next book that I got for my Kindle this month is Jack Kerouac's On the Road. I think this is probably one of those sort of modern American classics about a group of young people on like a journey somewhere, but I think it's more about their sort of like internal journey of self-discovery and stuff like that. I think it's set in like post-war, I want to say like 1940s, 1950s America, and I don't think I've ever read anything set in around that time period before. So yeah, really intrigued by it. Again, it was like 99p on Kindle Daily Deals, so I just picked it up. So hopefully I will feel the mood take me to pick this up at some point soon. So yeah, excited for that one. The next one that I got for my Kindle this month is After the Fire by Will Hill. I have seen this book around. I think it might be one of the current Zoella Book Club books at WH Smith here in the UK. So I think this is about a girl who is, I don't know if it's part of a religious cult or sect, but she lives in like this compound and she's not allowed to talk to anyone outside of it, and she lives a very restricted life. She has a lot of rules, and the leader of the cult has given her like a spiel of what's right and what's wrong, and I think she's starting to doubt whether this is right and wrong, and whether there are hidden dark secrets at the heart of it and stuff like that. So it sounds really cool, maybe like a sort of YA thriller mystery, maybe a little bit of dystopian in there as well. So yeah, really intrigued by this one. Also for my Kindle this month I got See What I Have Done by Sarah Schmidt. This was actually one of my most anticipated releases of this year. It's a take on the Lizzie Borden murders, which were real murders that happened in 19th century America. Lizzie Borden was an unmarried woman in her 30s who was accused of brutally killing her father and stepmother. She was eventually acquitted and no one was ever charged for those murders, but this is a take on that story. So I'm excited to see whether it is true to what actually happened or whether it takes a different turn, but yeah, really excited for this one too. And the last book that I got for my Kindle this month is No Virgin by Anne Cassidy. I've been recommended Anne Cassidy by two of my favourite booktubers now, Charlie at Duvet Day Devours and Hannah Tay. They both really love her books, and she does definitely sound like an author that I would really enjoy too. I think she's kind of like a sort of YA thriller mystery writer that deals with a lot of dark topics. I think all of her books do tend to deal with very dark things. This one is about a girl who has been raped and she doesn't feel like she can talk to anyone apart from her best friend about it, but her best friend encourages her to write everything down, and this is literally her story. So yeah, excited to read some Anne Cassidy for the first time, and hopefully I will become a big fan of her work too. Now on to the physical books that I got this month. So in a box subscription that I got this month, I got The Disappearances by Emily Bain Murphy. This cover is literally stunning. I don't know if you can see, it's like sort of embroidery on the front. It's just so lovely. And I have heard that the story inside is as good too. This is about a town where every 7 years immaterial things like the ability to dream and people's reflections and things like that randomly go missing, and I think our main character suspects that her mum might be behind behind these disappearances. So she's kind of trying to work out why her mum's doing this, whether it is her mum or whether there is something else going on here. So it sounds really, really mysterious and magical, and I really hope to be able to get to it very, very soon, because it's just, I mean, it's just staring at me. It's just such a gorgeous, gorgeous cover. So yeah, really excited for this one. The next three I'm going to talk about together because they are a trilogy, and I have read this trilogy. I just wanted physical editions of them for my shelves because I really, really enjoyed them. And that is the Shades of Magic, a series by V.E. Schwab. So you've got the first book, A Darker Shade of Magic, the second book, A Gathering of Shadows, and the third book, A Conjuring of Light. I read these earlier on this year, gave all three of them 5 stars, so I just wanted physical editions of them for my shelves. I also really, really love the artwork on these editions too. So yeah, really excited to have a physical set of this trilogy for my bookshelves. The next one I got is actually a sequel to a book that I read and enjoyed last year, and that is Now I Rise by Kirsten White. This is a sequel to And I Darken. I haven't read this yet, but I do hope to pick it up very, very soon. And I Darken follows the children of a man who was supposedly inspired by Vlad the Impaler. They were taken captive by the Ottoman Empire, and it's basically like a sort of historical action adventure story. If you like sort of bad, no-nonsense women, then you will really, really love Lada, who is our main character in this. There's a lot of gender politics going on. There's a really interesting love triangle, and I'm not normally a big fan of love triangles, but I really, really liked the one in this one. I thought it was really, really interesting. There's a lot of blood and action and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, if it sounds like your sort of thing, I'd definitely recommend it. So I'm excited to see where the story goes in this book. So hopefully I will read it next month. So yeah, I'll let you guys know what I think. The next one I got this month was They All Fall Down by Tammy Cohen. This is a recently released psychological thriller about a woman in a mental hospital where someone is slowly killing off all of the patients, but the authorities keep telling her that no, she's crazy and that nothing's going on, that she's imagining it. So it's basically her dealing with these murders as well as just being in a mental hospital. So sounds really, really good. It doesn't look like it's all that long either, so I think I might be able to get through it quite fast. So yeah, really excited for this one. Hopefully I will be able to pick it up very, very soon. Also this month I got Last Seen Leaving by Caleb Rowerig. This is about a boy whose girlfriend has gone missing, and basically all eyes are on him about where she's actually gone, what's happened to her, but a lot of her friends seem to be telling stories that don't really add up either, and he does have a secret of his own, but he's trying to decide how much he can actually help the police without giving away too much of his own secret. So sounds really, really interesting. So yeah, and apparently it has a really shiny cover according to my camera, so yeah, really excited for this one too. Also this month I got a book that I'd been highly, highly anticipating. I have already read it, so I'm going to talk about it more in my wrap up, and that is The Lying Game by Ruth Ware. I am a massive fan of Ruth Ware. I loved both of her previous books, but this one I think was probably my favourite. It's about 4 women who have been friends since they were at school together, and when they were at school together they used to play this lying game where they would basically tell lies and they'd score points depending on the size of the lie and how many people they managed to convince and stuff like that. So now they've grown up and they've gone their separate ways, and then one day one of them texts the others basically saying that she needs them, and they all automatically know exactly what this means, so they reconvene at the town where they all went to school together, and a dark, dangerous secret from their past has been unearthed, and they basically have to decide how they're going to deal with this secret. So it was really, really good. Stay tuned for my wrap up for my full thoughts and feelings on it, but I would thoroughly recommend it to anyone who likes psychological thriller mystery stories. Definitely recommend Ruth Ware in general. Now onto the books that I got second hand this month, and I did get quite a lot of them, so sit tight for this little lot. So the first one I got is The Fog by James Herbert, and I really actually enjoy this sort of ambiguous, cheesy, classic horror cover. I'd never heard of this book before I saw it, but I am starting to try to get more into 70s and 80s classic horror, so if you have any other recommendations for me, please let me know in the comments down below. This reminds me of a Stephen King story called The Mist. Basically it's about a fog or a mist that turns people violent. That's pretty much all I know, but yeah, really, really excited for it. So yeah, hopefully I'll be able to get to this really, really soon too. I'm also slowly trying to collect all of the Stephen King books that I haven't read and don't own, and this month I saw Bag of Bones in a charity shop. I'm going to read you the back of this one because I think it might be the best way that I could explain it to you. When Mike Noonan's wife dies unexpectedly, the best-selling author suffers from desperate writer's block. Until he's drawn to their summer home, Sarah Laughs, the beautiful Maine lakeside retreat which has recently been haunting his nightmares. But Mike finds the once familiar town now in the tyrannical grip of millionaire Max Devore. Devore is hell-bent on getting custody of his deceased son's child and is twisting the fabric of the community to this purpose. 3-year-old Kyra and her young mother turn to Mike for help. Increasingly besotted with them, Mike is powerless to resist, but there are other sinister forces at Sarah Laughs determined to stand in their way, and Kyra can feel them too. So that sounds really cool, very mysterious, creepy, classic Stephen King horror. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. I also got this month The Particular Sadness of Lemon Cake by Amy Bender. This is about a little girl who can basically sense people's emotions and secrets, I think, through the food that they serve her. So it sounds really, really interesting. Reminded me a little bit of Garden Spells by Sarah Addison Allen, which I really, really enjoyed. So yeah, I think it might be kind of like a little family secret drama story. So maybe a little bit sad as well. So yeah, really interested in this one. I also got this month The Forgetting Time by Sharon Guskin. I also really enjoy this cover. So it's got like little holes in the windows and doors of the house, so it looks like the light's going on and off when you sort of move the cover. How cool is that? This is about a little boy who basically remembers a whole life that he's lived before. He remembers a different family, a different house, but his current family don't really seem to know what he's talking about. So it sounds really, really mysterious, very whimsical again. So yeah, really interested in this one. I also got this month Saint Anything by Sarah Dessen. Sarah Dessen is a very popular YA contemporary author. I have read a couple of her books before. I've heard really good things about this one. I think this is probably one of her more popular ones. It says on the back, Sydney's always lived her life in the shadows, content to avoid the spotlight and let others be the centre of attention. But then a terrible accident lands her brother in jail and thrusts her family into the public eye. Fortunately, Sydney finds solace with the Chathams, the family who owns the local pizza place. There's Layla, who welcomes Sydney with open arms, mysterious Rosie, who has secrets of her own, and Mac, quiet, protective Mac, who makes Sydney feel safe and secure. As she's drawn into their chaotic circle, Sydney's finally able to focus on what really matters: friendship, love, and most important, herself. So it sounds like a really lovely summer contemporary. It's a really awesome American floppy paperback too, which I really appreciate. So yeah, really excited for this one. Also this month I got Charm and Strange by Stephanie Kewen. I saw this going around BookTube a couple of years ago when it came out. The cover really, really intrigues me, and I think this is literally just a story about maybe kind of like one of those sort of allegorical style tales of how everyone's got like light and dark in us and stuff like that. Literally on the back it just says, there are two sides to each of us, the charm and the strange. A deftly woven, elegant, unnerving psychological thriller about a boy at war with himself, and it's super, super short too. So yeah, we'll hopefully be able to pick this up soon and let you guys know what I think. The next one was actually on my Amazon wishlist, and I saw it for really cheap in a charity shop this month, so I just snapped it right up, and that is How to Disappear by Anne Redditch Stampler. It says on the back, I am not Catherine Davis. I've never lived in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I've never even seen the state of Oklahoma. The fake license just seemed like one more untrue thing to stuff between me and my past. One more little thing I needed to make it to the age of 17 alive. That and a different looking face and a different shaped body and bulletproof skin. That and a heart of stone. So sounds like someone's on the run from something. Again, another thriller mystery-esque story, maybe an unreliable narrator thrown in there as well. So yeah, really excited for this one. Also this month I got A Man Called Uwe by Fredrik Backman. I've heard amazing things about Fredrik Backman's books. I've heard they're very funny, very quirky. I'm actually reading this week for the Booktubeathon, so stay tuned for my Booktubeathon wrap up for my thoughts and feelings on this. As far as I know, it's about a grumpy old man, and I'm assuming that he learns to become maybe a little less grumpy. So that's all I know. Because I'm reading it very soon, that's all I want to know. So yeah, really excited for this one. Also this month I got Asking for It by Louise O'Neill. I loved Only Ever Yours by Louise O'Neill, and I've heard really good things about this one too. I think this is about topics such as rape and slut shaming. As you can see from the cover, it looks very dramatic and very emotional, and obviously with topics like that it's going to be very dramatic and very emotional. Only Ever Yours I really loved because it kind of made me realise things about the real world in a way that I wasn't expecting it to, if you know what I mean. And I really love Louise O'Neill too. I've been to a couple couple of panels where she's talked, and I really love her Twitter as well. She's very, very honest, very open about very serious issues. So yeah, really looking forward to this one. Also this month I got Spellbook of the Lost and Found by Moira Fowley Doyle. I read a book called The Accident Season by this author, really enjoyed it. I think this is in like a kind of similar vein. It sort of feels very mysterious and very magical. It says on the back, one stormy summer night, Olive and her best friend Rose begin to lose things. It starts with simple items like hair clips and jewellery, but soon it's clear that Rose has lost something bigger, something she won't talk about. Then Olive meets three wild, mysterious strangers, Ivy, Hazel and Rowan. Like Rose, they're mourning losses and holding tight to secrets. When they discover the ancient spellbook full of handing charms to conjure back lost things, they realise it might be their chance to set everything right, unless it's leading them towards secrets that were never meant to be found. So yeah, definitely sounds like the sort of thing that I would be really interested in, maybe kind of autumn time. So I'm thinking maybe this might be a sort of September-y book maybe. So yeah, really excited for this one. Also this month I've seen a couple of people haul this. I think it's a recently released adult thriller book, and that is Blood Sisters by Jane Corey, and it says literally on the front, 3 little girls, 1 good, 1 bad, 1 dead. And I think it's about 3 little girls who walk to school together, and an hour later one of them's dead, and obviously the mystery surrounding that. So yeah, sounds like my sort of thing. I've been devouring this kind of book recently, so yeah, really excited for this one. Also this month I got Witch Child by Celia Rees. I've seen this on a couple of booktube channels as well. I think a letter is found embedded inside an ancient quilt or something, and it's like 300 years old, and the letter is written by the daughter of a witch. So that sounds really, really cool. I haven't read too many witch books, but I do really enjoy them when I do read them. So yeah, really excited for this one too. And the last book, and I could not believe it when I saw this in a secondhand bookshop, because I've heard so much about it, and that is Final Girls by Riley Sager. And this is literally a brand new hardback, black spray painted edges for £5. I mean, it was a no-brainer. A popular new hardback, Stephen King recommended on the front. How could I not pick it up, really? It says on the front, to survive a killer, you need a killer's instinct. And it says on the inside flap, first there were 3. The media calls them the Final Girls. Quincy, Sam, Lisa, the infamous group that no one wants to be part of. The sole survivors of 3 separate killing sprees. They're linked by their shared trauma. Then there were 2. But when Lisa dies in mysterious circumstances and Sam shows up unannounced on her doorstep, Quincy must admit that she doesn't really know anything about the other Final Girls. Should she trust them, or can there only ever be one? All Quincy knows is one thing. She is next. So excited for this one. Cannot tell you how excited I am. So yeah, really, really happy to finally have a copy of this too. And that is it for my July book haul. What books did you get this month? Please let me know. I will leave all of my social media in the description down below. I hope you're having an awesome day, and I will see you very soon for another video. Bye bye.